Being the month of October, it's all about being just a little bit weird. So I am actually doing my first look video today, and it is a little bit of a strange one. So before we get into this look, I just want to clear some things up first. I am not a makeup artist. I am not a makeup guru. The whole point of this channel is supposed to be beauty for the rest of us. Those of us that work 9-to-5 jobs or whatever times you work. But those of us that tend to make our living sitting in an office or behind a retail counter or wherever we might be, people who don't work in the beauty industry but like makeup. I don't play with makeup as a profession. I've said that before, but I do want to reiterate it again because my looks are going to be a little bit strange. I do want to start doing looks. I'm assuming that they're all going to fail. Not all of them will fail, I'm sure, but I'm sure that there will also be some ones that are going to be quite something. But I'm going to allow my mistakes to stay in here because I want you guys to see that not everybody on YouTube is perfect, obviously, and this is how we fix the mistakes that we have made. So now that I've got that off of my chest, the look that I'm doing today isn't really all that practical. As you can see from the look, it's not all that tremendously practical. However, it's a fun Halloween look. If you're going to a Halloween party and you're not doing a costume, why aren't you doing a costume? Nobody's too old for costumes. But if you're not doing a costume and you just want to have kind of a funky look, this is definitely one to consider. I did take it from inspiration of several different eye looks that I found on Pinterest, which is something that I said that I was going to start doing here. They were inspired. I didn't copy one of the looks that I saw there and attempt to do them. I decided to take what I saw and play with it, and this is the look that I came out with. So, as I said, it's not really a look that you would want to wear to the office or to get married in, unless you're a little strange, because I would wear it to get married in. But it is definitely a look to have a lot of fun with. This is also just a guideline. I will say that again in the video somewhere. It is a guideline. Feel free to play with it, have all kinds of fun with it. Eyeliner, switch the colors up, whatever. This is just kind of giving you a little bit of inspiration, something to toy with. So let's get started. Okay, we're starting off with the Clinique Moisture Surge. Then we go into the primer, which is the green that I'm only putting on the red parts of my skin. This is the Benefit Professional, and I'm putting those in pretty much the T-zone, the nose, right between my eyes and around the sides of my nose, just to cover up some pores. I've got really bad pores in those areas. It's got to be done. Now I'm going to put on my Estee Lauder foundation. It is a sheer coverage, so just dot a little bit on. And you'll see later on I didn't get quite enough coverage on my cheek, so I am going to put a little bit more of it on. But again, it's not full coverage, it's only sheer coverage. This is the Bare Minerals Bare Skin Concealer, and I am using that for a couple of breakouts that I had and right under my eyes because, as some of you have probably seen, it looks like I got into a bar fight. So I put a little bit under my eyes, pretty much just to cover up that bruising area. And now I'm going to use my beauty applicator to just kind of press that into my skin. I do go a little bit harder under my eyes just because of the discoloration and fine lines and stuff like that, so I really push it in. This is the Benefit Dandelion Shy Beam, and that's the highlighter. It is a very subtle highlighter, and again I'm going to use the beauty applicator to push it into my skin. This is not the easiest stuff in the world to actually blend in, so I have to press a little bit harder, otherwise I end up with noticeable stripes on my face. Love the highlighter. It's not as easy to blend in as I originally thought it was. And this is the Bare Minerals loose powder, and it's just their original powder, and an e.l.f. brush. This stuff, once you get it on the brush, it's kind of hard to tap it off, and yeah, I just dumped powder all over my face. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but it's decent powder, and it does have, I think it's SPF 15. Okay, so one of my lights is apparently on the fritz. I don't know why, but if you see light blinking from over here, it's my stupid light box. There's something wrong with the bulb. Okay, so now that I have my absolute pallor on my face, let's go ahead and get started with the eye look. But before we do that, I want to go over the goodies that I'm going to be using for this look. And if I can think of some, I will try to tell you guys what you can get instead of what I'm using. Okay, so one of the first products that we're going to be using as far as eyeshadow goes is going to be the Vice Limited, and it is actually only one color out of this. Holy crap. It is this color right here, which is Laced, and you can actually get Laced in one or two of their other palettes, but you can pretty much take any flesh-toned eyeshadow that you want to use. You don't have to use an Urban Decay for that one. I'm also going to use Urban Decay's Woodstock, which you can probably find a dupe for from somebody like Makeup Geek for about $6. I'm also going to use Sephora's Minnie Mouse palette, and I'm going to use two colors from this one. I am going to use Yoo-Hoo, which is this green color here, and I'm All Ears, which is this matte black here. Most eyeshadow palettes have a matte black. You'd want to make sure for this look that you use a matte black, but you can use any matte black that you want. As far as the green, I believe Makeup Geek has some that will suffice, but it needs to be a bright green. That's pretty much the only caveat to this, is it needs to be a bright green. And I'm finding bright green to be very hard to find. I didn't want to use this particular one because it's not very pigmented, but I couldn't seem to find another one anywhere. That's the brightest green I personally own, and I couldn't find another one anywhere other than ordering it online, which I really didn't want to do. I'm going to be using NYX's Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk. I'm going to be using Urban Decay's Eye Primer Potion in Original. For my lashes, I'm going to be using Benefit's Bad Gal Mascara. For my lips, I'm going to be using Tarte's Tartist Lip Paint, and this is in Texas Toast. This is one of the limited editions from Graveyard Girl. It does have her little signature on here. Pretty much whatever lipstick you like for this. I'm just kind of picking this because it's a nice neutral, and I'm wearing it way too often. So I figured I would just go ahead and throw it in on this look as well. I'm going to skip my eyebrows today because I didn't bring in my eyebrow stuff. And I don't feel like going back to go find it. So I'm going to leave my eyebrows out of this. So I'm going to show you the brushes that I'm going to be using. This one is from Real Techniques. And this is part of the kit that I did in one of my, I think it was a haul video. And this is one of their fluffier brushes. This is the base shadow brush, but I find that this is really good for using in the crease. These two brushes are actually from a Sephora eye kit, but I'm only going to be using two of them instead of the entire kit. I've got this one, which is also a base shadow brush, which I am actually going to use for my base shadows. And then this one is a Precision Smudge, which I tend to use for my darker shades. Okay, now I'm going to have you guys zoomed all the way in here, which should be lots of fun. I'm actually going to be using a mirror, my little handheld mirror. You guys have seen it before, just because I don't have a mirror behind me, so try to bear with me. I'll walk you along with it. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. So first up, I'm actually going to use, and you can't see it, the Urban Decay Original Eyeshadow Primer. And I'm just going to put that on with my finger. Now, Urban Decay's Eye Primer Potion has a tendency to liquefy. This is pretty good and solid, but if yours is coming out a little bit liquidy, just put the cap back on and shake it. It actually does work, so. Now, you also want to make sure when you put this stuff on, that you put it on nice and smooth, because if you don't, it's going to dry and it will in fact show through your eyeshadow. So just make sure you put a nice coating on there. And I go all the way up to the brow. I know a lot of people don't, but I don't put my foundation or concealer on my eyes, so. Okay, so next I'm going to cover the lid with the NYX Milk. This I'm pretty much doing just to make the color pop once I put it on. Mostly because that green color that I showed you doesn't pop all that well. So I'm putting this on there in hopes that this is going to do the trick. I've never used this stuff before either, by the way. Had it for a while, haven't actually used it, so this is going to be kind of a first impression, isn't it? Okay. Now, it looks weird right now, but let's go ahead and blend it in just a little. Now, I'm only putting this on the lid proper. I'm not going all the way up with this, even though we're going to have color up a little higher. I'm not going to go all the way up with this, because really I'm only putting this on for the green, because the pink shade that I'm using is quite bright. And I don't want the pink to be heinously bright. So that's what that looks like when it's on. And let me do the other eye. I'm going to warn you guys ahead of time too. I've said it in other videos, but you're actually going to get to see it this time. I always screw up my left eye. I don't know why, but I always screw up my left eye. So the right eye will look okay, the left eye will look like it was done by a toddler. Or like I did it with my feet, one or the other. So just go ahead and flick this onto the lid. It does go on pretty smooth. Now I've actually got pretty loose eyelids, unfortunately, and unfortunately I think that's probably part of the reason why my left eye never comes out real well, because it is looser than the right. Oh, the trials and tribulations of no longer being in my 20s. And there you go. Now let's actually get on to some color. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to use that nice fluffy brush, and I'm going to use Urban Decay's Woodstock, and I'm going to put that into my crease. I'm just going to put it in there, dab it in a little bit, put it in the crease, and kind of work it up, but you don't want to work it all the way up to your brow bone. Remember, this is a Halloween look. It is going to look a little crazy. That's perfectly okay. This is October. This is a month to be weird, so that's why our first look is actually going to be a weird look, because I like weird. So, because I have hooded eyes, I go up a little bit, and I put that on just like that. I put a little too much on, so I'm going to move it over here to the other eye as well, just to diffuse it a little, and blend like a crazy person. Try to blend up instead of down. You want to keep it off the lid as much as possible. You really just want it to be up here. And then over here where it's not quite quite as crazy, so I might want to get just a dab more. And working it up, working it up. So it looks kind of like that. A little bit nuts. Not too bad. Now it is a little bit brighter than I wanted. So I'm going to clean off my brush on my pants. Because, you know, that looks like crud. So now I'm going to do this again and clean my brush off again. Okay. To dim it, you're going to go into the Vice palette or whatever flesh tone you want. And we're going to get Laced right here. Get just a little bit on there. Don't overdo it. Ooh. Okay. And we're going to put just a little bit in here. And then bring that up to the brow bone. That will darken the pink up just a little bit, which is why you don't want to put too much on, because you don't want to make the pink super dark. We just kind of want to deaden the glow just a tad. And we'll come over here and we'll do that here as well. And again, you're going to go in the crease and blend up. And then blend it up into the brow bone, which I'm totally out of screen right now. But just like this. Blend it out. That'll take away, if you happen to have any harsh edges, it should take away those dark edges. And it leaves you looking like this. Okay, so this time I'm going to come in with the flatter shadow base brush. You definitely want to go for the flatter brush solely because we're going to kind of pack this one on, especially since this is the color that's not really as bright as I had wanted it to be. This is Yoo-Hoo right here, and this is from Sephora's Minnie Mouse palette. So pile that up on the brush, and I'm going to use the mirror from this for this. And we're just going to pat that on there like this. Make sure you get it up in there so that it meets the pink. And just pat it on there. Don't rub it in, just pat it. So it looks like that. Now let's go ahead and do my left eye. So it comes out looking kind of like that. Now, this is one of those looks that you can play with, okay? You can leave it just as it is, and it'll pass, especially for a Halloween look. It'll definitely pass. So you can leave it just the way it is. You can put on a little bit of eyeliner if you want. However you want to work this. This is pretty much just a guideline. It's just something that I was playing with the other day and decided I would share with you. You can even reverse the colors if you want. Do the pink on the lid and do the green up on the top. Whatever. Just have fun with it. It's a weird look. Have fun with it. Okay. Now, if you want to continue from here, this is what we're going to do. Now we're going to do, from that same palette, the Sephora Minnie Mouse, we're going to do this one here, which is I'm All Ears. It is a matte black, which you can find in just about every palette. Now, we're going to use the Precision Smudge Brush, just like this. We are literally going to take this, and I'm going to go, boop. Just that much. You don't want to put too much on there. If you put too much on there, it's just going to kill the whole look. Now, this is going to look a little crazy for a minute, but you just want to put it right on the corner. Just like that. Right on the corner. And yeah, I know it looks weird. Bear with me. Okay, so now you got these crazy dots. Now, go get that big fluffy brush again. And start to blend up towards the crease. Now, if you decide you want this to go further, which you can bring it further over into the crease. You can do pretty much whatever you want with it. Put a little bit more on. Remember, just like everybody else is going to tell you, start out with a little bit and then move on from there. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start taking this and pulling it up towards the crease of my eye and hoping for the best. So now it ends up looking a little something like this, which it does look a little harsh right here. I don't know why it looks so harsh on camera when it really doesn't look all that harsh in person. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same fluffy brush and I'm going to get a little bit more of that green. Come in just like this. And this time I am actually sweeping it over my eyelid and I'm sweeping it into the black just to kind of deaden it a little. It looks really bad on camera. Oh my word. So I'm going to use a little Hello Mickey and come in over the top of it. Look at that, working off the cuff. Okay. In this palette you've got Hello Mickey. It is a little bit more purpley, especially once you get it over that black. But there's what you've got. And again, it still looks really harsh here, and I don't know why. I don't know why it looks so harsh on camera. I still have that one harsh edge right there, and I don't know why. Okay, so this is kind of what you're ending up with here. Now, again, as I said, you can play with this look however you want. You want to line your bottom lid. You can do it with the green, the pink. I wouldn't use the Hello Mickey. Either the green, the pink, or the black. I'm actually going to use the green. Now, I am using this brush here, which is mostly used for eyebrows, but I'm using it as a liner brush. The other side. And again, don't bring it all the way over. You want to stop right about under where your pupil would be, which on me is right here. So you just want to bring it out there and then make sure you kind of smudge it out, which this brush is actually pretty good at doing. So you end up looking kind of like that. The liner isn't too harsh, but it sort of connects the whole look. And now it is time for the mascara. I come up like that. And now, if you're using a big one like this and you're doing the bottoms, obviously be very careful about the bottoms. They do make mascara for your lower eyelashes, but I don't have any. And I didn't want to go out and buy any. And last but not least is the lips, which I do apologize, my lips look a little weird tonight. Yeah, that's right, I just duck-faced you. So, this is the completed facial look. I don't have my hair done. I had a long day today, so it's all tied up and fuzzy, but you kind of get the general idea. This is what the eyes look like, and what the lips look like, and it's not a bad look. I don't think anyway. Halloween look. Wouldn't wear it to work. Thanks for hanging in there with me on my first looks video. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I do try to make at least one video every week. And I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.